This is college dating. All the comfort of lying in your own bed without any of the discomfort of real social interaction. Welcome to Tinder. With over 13 million users as of 2014, Tinder has quickly become one of the largest dating sites in the world. The app transforms the dating scene into a truly modern experience, one that is designed and managed. The basic premise of the app is simple. Create a profile by importing your Facebook information, set up match settings such as age and distance preference, and then simply begin swiping. The app feeds you hundreds of profiles that you can either like by swiping right or dislike by swiping left. If you and another profile both like each other, you then match and can begin chatting. This easy-to-digest premise, combined with a slick, clean design, has made Tinder one of the most accessible and almost passive dating experiences. It requires very little effort or concentration, but it also bypasses some of the more challenging aspects of meeting new people. As a single 22-year-old, I've spent my time on Tinder. I've been on and off the app for the last 3 years or so. I'll delete it after a few months, but I always find myself coming back, whether it's after a breakup or just out of desperation. The more I used Tinder, the more comfortable I felt within it. I no longer focused on day-to-day interactions with the opposite sex. I wasn't fixated on trying to impress anyone. My attention was solely on Tinder. Matching with people every day was addicting. It grew my confidence, it gave me validation. Why would I go out to a club or a bar to meet people when I can just lie in bed and be connected to thousands? Tinder almost enhanced my already antisocial tendencies, causing me to lose focus on reality. I just wasn't myself on Tinder. I wasn't shy or hesitant. I was confident and cool. My words didn't stumble. My thoughts came out clearly and elegantly. Without the pressure of reality crushing and weighing down on my every thought, I could easily become the person I wanted to be on Tinder. But why did I feel so comfortable on here? Is it the simple act of putting a screen in front of me and the foreign? Or is it something more? Tinder was turning my dating circle into a sport, a game that I could compete in. You begin by creating your character. The Tinder version of myself is not my true self. It is edited, planned, and designed to be the cleaner, better version of me. After the character creation is done, you, the player, are then presented with the objectives, the other people. Other profiles on Tinder cease being people, cease being real, and become goals for you to strive for. The app throws them at you one after another, and you play the game, swiping left, swiping right. For every match you get, your score goes up. How many people have you matched with? How many have your friends matched with? Who's the hottest person you've matched with? How many you've met up with? It all becomes a score. It all becomes a game. It could be argued that the dating scene in clubs and bars especially have always been a cat and mouse game, but Tinder actively keeps track of your numbers and openly presents them to you. Matching with people generates a feeling of success, of accomplishment. It boils dating down to its purest form. But maybe I'm just taking Tinder too seriously. Maybe I'm just in my own head too much. I needed a different perspective. I decided to sit down with Christina, a girl I matched with on Tinder. Christina and I have recently started seeing one another through the app, and I wanted to have a conversation about her experience using it.
A lot of the girls I've talked to and a lot of girls I know personally will not try Tinder, or inherently, like as a boy, Tinder is probably easier because I am the one who's expected to engage with people, and on Tinder as a woman, I've heard horror stories of just like unsolicited dick pics, sexual harassment, things like that. You know, everyone has heard those stories. As a woman on Tinder, have you experienced this, or do you think there's like concerns being a woman on Tinder?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I've talked to some guys and we've exchanged numbers and they sound totally normal, and then they'll start texting me super sexual stuff right off the bat. But I mean, that comes with meeting anyone. I can meet someone at a bar or in school, and they could also be texting me those kinds of things. So I think just being open-minded and talking to people in general, that stuff might happen. But I mean, the good thing about Tinder is that you never have to see them in person if you don't want to. So you can obviously block their number, delete them, unmatch them, do whatever it takes.
So I guess, in a sense, Tinder is no different than the real dating scene. It just kind of trivializes it or makes it a little bit easier for you.
Honestly, I feel like Tinder is actually easier than people think, just because when you see people in real life, it's a lot of it's environmental. Even if if I actually met you somewhere and you were standing across from a bar, I probably would never talk to you, and if we never got a chance to talk to each other, I'd probably never see you again. But on Tinder, you can match with someone and work up the courage to talk to them, or eventually, maybe one night, they'll talk to you first.
So that's actually a really good transition into talking about our relationship, because I think personally that we have a kind of relationship right now that can only be formed through Tinder. Do you want to talk about that?
I think a good way to put it, just kind of the in between hooking up and boyfriend girlfriend dating. I feel like it's in the in between state where you're more than friends with someone, you guys are on good levels, but you also don't need the rush to be boyfriend and girlfriend. And I feel like meeting on Tinder kind of gave us that stepping stone, because I feel like if we had met each other right off the bat, there'd be a lot of confusion, well, I like you, but do I have to be your boyfriend and girlfriend, or am I just gonna hook up with you? But I feel like being on Tinder gave us a chance to talk beforehand and get to know each other. So by the time we actually did meet up, there wasn't that weird middle ground.
The kind of relationship Christina and I have formed is one that could only blossom from a place like Tinder. We're not dating, not hooking up, we're somewhere in between. We're casually seeing one another. It's ambiguous and doesn't have a concrete future, but neither of us want that, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. The dating world and our culture put enormous pressure on us to define every relationship we have with one another. Friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, side chick, husband, wife. Anything in between is frowned upon. We don't have to limit the kind of relationships we can have with people by labeling them all or sorting them into categories. Sometimes it's better just to be with one another rather than commit or forget one another. In our ever-growing digital world, relationships formed online are not any different than ones formed in reality. There truly isn't a difference between this or this. It is simply humans communicating. And that's exactly what I've come away with from my experience on Tinder. Tinder is a device to simply meet other people. It's been labeled as the hookup app, but if you come to Tinder with expectations of constant hookups or finding a serious relationship, you'll most likely leave disappointed. The value you get out of it is what you put into it. If you come to Tinder with an open mind about experiencing new people, you'll find that you can connect with people that you would have otherwise never known existed.